think I was 11, and my mom goes, Santa Claus isn't real, the Easter Bunny isn't real, that dollar under your pillow for your chief, that's not from the Tooth Fairy, that's from me. Oh, yeah, by the way, that wrestling crap you watch, that's fake, too. And I was like, what?
Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast out of Indie Music TV here out of Ronkonkoma, Long Island. Let's get to it. In studio are WWE superstars. And it's okay to say WWE superstars. We don't have to name all the other places they were at, right?
No,
Gillberg and James Ellsworth, thank you guys for joining us.
Hey, it's my pleasure anyway. I don't know about his.
James Ellsworth Morris, born December 11th, 1984. Nice. Is an American professional wrestler, better known by the name in the ring as
Dude,
James
1984,
Ellsworth.
you're a baby.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
he's
I
a
know,
young
I feel
man.
so young.
Holy cow.
Hey, look at Gillberg. Yes, he
Yes, he is.
I did not realize
He's a
you.
young man.
You could be my son.
Stop. No, he
could be.
couldn't. What?
He could be my
you're
son.
16 and you went whoops?
Well, I definitely could be
What are
your
you
son for
talking
sure.
about?
Well,
okay.
Gilbert did know my mom when they were teenagers,
Yeah, we
and
went to
I'm
school together.
and I'm a little concerned that he
That's
might
true.
actually be
That's
my
the truth, brother.
Wait a
By
second.
Son of Gillberg.
What'd you bring, a bottle of wine and the sparklers?
Hey.
I can't anymore. This is awful.
I'm gonna, hold on, let me spray the sparklers. I'm gonna.
Hey.
Stop!
A lot of people
Eddie-
are like, hey, wait a minute.
Wait.
James is a wrestler. You knew her. I'm like, yeah, I was a good guy, man. I was a good guy.
We're gonna move on with this. Let's
Yeah,
get to
I
it.
feel like the juice just fell off the
Born in
table.
Baltimore, 1984. You were saying.
Yes. Are you retired currently? It says here you're retired. I got to check with
I
you.
wrestled my retirement match with James Ellsworth.
I saw that. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
My
Mer-
family begged me to quit. They saw the
Really,
movie The
man?
Wrestler, and it was like, wow.
Okay.
Dad, you gotta
They say
get out of
lose
the
the
ring.
sparklers? That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
You know, not that you mentioned a wrestler. What'd you guys think of that movie?
It's hard to watch for us because it's so accurate. It's very accurate.
Is it
Yeah.
accurate?
Oh, yeah.
You know, Cornette had a coronary over that movie saying that's not an accurate reflection of how traditional wrestling
Now
is.
it's not accurate to modern day wrestling because now guys are like just playing video games in the locker room and pretty much behaving themselves for the most part in the locker room scene. But it's like just for the indie stuff they show in the movie.
Felt pretty damn
it
real,
felt
huh?
real. Yeah.
Interesting.
I got a stat for you that'll get you. Go back to WWE, WWF, WWF. Longest reigning champions, singles champions. I'm number 8 of all time.
Wow, you hit the top 10 in a company that's been
Yeah.
around over half a century. Man, that's weird.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
It is awesome.
If
It's
you remember when Lesnar beat it, they go, "Oh, you just beat Gillberg's record." To be honest with you, I was such a fan that I didn't really get wrestling was fake till probably my 5th match.
What? Really?
Yeah. Man, but I still remember training Barry showing me a punch. I'm going, man, are you kidding? Come on, don't mess with me, man, like that. And he's going, Dwayne, that's it.
So
That's
now,
it, buddy.
did you both grow up wrestling fans?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
I've been watching wrestling since I can remember.
So what makes you both go, okay, this is the path I want to go on with my life?
I personally like I said, I've been a fan my whole life. I can't remember not watching wrestling, and at the same time, I can't remember not wanting to be a wrestler. So it's been like a whole life's journey. Like it's all I've thought about. It's all I've ever loved. Like as a something I wanted to do as a profession, and yeah, just since I can remember, I wanted to do it and have watched it and have loved it.
Tell them about the elementary school deal.
oh,
this
this-
is how far back we got.
This is a great story. It's a
That
true
you guys
story.
go together.
Yes.
Yeah, listen. This
So,
is no lie.
I was 9 years old. It was like 5th grade.
I'm up doing jobs at WWF.
Right.
I see him wrestle Owen Hart on Monday Night Raw doing a job as Dwayne Gill. And the next night, I go to my elementary school. I'm 9 years old. And he's up on a ladder like
I was a
fixing
maintenance man for the school
fixing a
board.
light.
Right.
And I said, Mr. Dwayne, he knows my family, my uncle, my mom and my dad. I said, Mr. Dwayne, like, aren't you a big wrestling star? Why are you working at my school? And he looked at me, and I was 9 years old, and he goes, you'll understand one day.
Oh, my
nice.
God.
Little
Crazy.
does he realize.
Crazy.
Don't worry, kid.
Yeah, like,
You'll
Are
it-
we changing
understand.
light bulbs together? What are you talking about? I'm so confused.
Yeah. I still remember when the first time I wrestled the Road Warriors. I was standing there, and an Animal come in the ring, and he looked across at me, man, and he went, man, I backed up to Barry. I went, oh, my God, Barry. Man, these guys know this stuff is fake, right? I didn't say stuff, though. And he goes, get out of my way. And he's going, I'm going to break you in half. Man, I swear you can ask my partner, Barry Hardy. I'm going, dude, shut up, man, shut up, man. And then I remember when it was my turn to get in, I got in, and Hawk pushed me back in the rope, and he goes, clothesline, brother. I was running to the ropes, looking back going, he talked to me. I swear to you, man. I swear to you. My philosophy with wrestling is this. You know how fans are called marks?
Yep.
The true mark is the wrestler. Because think about it. A fan is smart enough to go, I'll pay my 10, 20 bucks and sit out here and watch these guys kill each other. The mark is the guy that goes, I don't care how much it hurts, how much I pay, how much I got to do. I want to get in that ring and do that. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
it's
mean,
also- yeah.
that is the mark. And to me, to this day, wrestling, people ask me, and I go, man, wrestling is my life.
Yeah.
It's everything to me. And it sucks what's happening
Right.
to it. You know, I used to sit in the locker room, and Randy Savage would look at me and go, what? And I'm like, Randy, you're you. That's the funny part, man. You're you.
Right.
It isn't like you would go, oh, yeah, do his thing, and then come in and go, hey, so, Dwayne, how's it going? He was
Right,
like, what's up, brother? You know, and I'm like,
But
I
you think
couldn't
everybody-
handle it,
you guys,
man.
did you guys lived your gimmick a little bit too, right? It was an extension of both of you, no?
Oh, yeah.
oh, hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, me personally, like, he didn't know wrestling was fake until what? He said it was his fifth match. Me personally, I think I was 11, and my mom goes, Santa Claus isn't real, the Easter Bunny isn't real, that dollar under your pillow for your chief, that's not from the Tooth Fairy, that's from me. Oh, yeah, and by the way, that wrestling crap you watch, that's fake, too. And I was like, what?
Speaking of your mom, right? So you love the sport, and then at what point do you say, hey, Ma, I'm going to be a wrestler? And what does she say to you?
Well, I've been, I told them my whole life, my parents, I want to be a wrestler, I want to be a wrestler. It didn't really hit them until I graduated high school when I was 17, and 4 days later, like, how when you graduate, you get money from relatives and friends, you have a party, and they get, so it was like $2,700, and wrestling school was $2,500 in Baltimore, where Axel and Bone Breakers, where I went, where Axel was training at, and I said, all right, I want to take this money, and I want to be a wrestler. My parents were like, at the time, I'm 5'8". I haven't grown an inch since. I'm still 5'8". 125. I'm about $170 now, so I did put on some pounds. And they're like, you're 5'8", 125, and you want to become a wrestler. And you're going to spend all this money on it. He's like, you're going to spend this money to break your neck and get hurt. And they're like, no, you need to go to college. And I was like, I'm going to wrestling school. And 4 days later, after I graduated, I took that money and went to wrestling school.
Let me ask you this: a lot of people bitch and moan about the WWE being this billion-dollar enterprise, and you're one of the older wrestlers, and they feel that some of these guys who made Vince McMahon all this type of money should have gotten like pensions and 401ks and all this. Where do you stand on that?
It'd be nice, but to tell you what it's like and the locker room was like back when I was in there, I was a jobber. I was a broke-ass wrestler, you know what I mean? And I was up there working, and I had been on, they had us on for like a week. And I had like $5,000 in my, in my bag. And I came back after a match, and it was gone.
Ace?
Now I'm freaking out, right? It's in WWF's locker room, not WWF. I'm freaking out. And I mean, I'm crying, man. I'm like, my God, there's everything, my bills, everything, man. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Vince sees the tape, walks over, he goes, what happened? I said, Mr. McMahon, I had this money right here, and it's gone. He said, calm down, Dwayne, calm down. Walks over to Chief, see him talking to Chief. Chief walks over and goes, here you go. Vince walks back and goes, I'm sorry that happened in my locker room.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Now
that's
you
why.
said Chief J. Strongbow?
Oh yeah, Chief J.
Okay.
Strongbow, of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
And here's the
Right.
thing, like, they pay you very well.
Very well,
It's
man.
up to you to save the money and all that. I mean, pensions will be nice and health insurance, but the thing is, you get paid so much, you can get that on your own because
Right.
they like anybody that like it drives me nuts when guys cry about what they get paid up there, like
Ridiculous
You
money.
get paid like, man, I remember my first like month's paycheck there was more money I've ever seen in my life, and I'm like. And so when I see like other wrestlers go on Twitter, and I hate Twitter and all that, when people cry and complain on there, that's not where you handle business like that, just in my humbled opinion. And I'm like, man, what are you talking about? Like, you're making a lot of money. You could, like, way more than the average person. That's what I think about. The average guy makes, what, 40 grand a year? In WWE, you can make that in a month or two. Even like the smallest guy can make that in like at least 4 months. You know, it doesn't take you a whole year at all.
Like maybe a superstar Billy Graham, right? A guy who maybe built the business,
One of them.
right? You know, who's pretty much just broke now with tons of medical problems.
Right.
I mean, do you think there should be a difference between those guys, those legends who helped
Well-
build the business?
I really feel that they made their money,
Yeah.
but they spent it.
Right.
Can I say something?
You could say
I
everything.
made a ton of money. I'm broke. Why? I raised my cost of living, right? In other words, I lived at a $60,000, $70,000 living.
Okay.
I got that job, you know, the contract, boom, I jumped up $300,000-$400,000 a year living. New cars, new boats, new house, new this, new that. You lose your job. You're back down to $70,000. But you're still living at $300,000-$400,000.
Yeah.
So you,
Fast forward 7 years later, you're like, what do you mean declined?
James, when you debuted with the WWE and you took that vicious beating from Braun Strowman, right? You go behind the curtain afterwards. Did it occur to you at all that what you had just done was going to...
Well, here's the story. So it's a great story, and I'll make it quick. But so I'm in Gorilla, and the match before me was Sasha Banks. She just won her first women's title right before I went out there and wrestled Strowman.
Okay.
So, enhancement talent, like they're like, yeah, you're gonna go kind of through the crowd and around to the bell keeper's table where they have the bell and all, and you get in the ring that way. You don't go down the ramp. So, like Sasha Banks, I was a big fan of Sasha Banks and still am, and so she won the title. Comes through the curtain. I'm watching Stephanie McMahon hug her and Triple H hug her, and I'm like about to wrestle Strowman next in that match, and they're like, "Kid, you gotta go," and I forgot that they told me to like go down the side of the ramp and walk through the crowd. And go. I walk down the ramp.
Straight down the ramp.
So and this is a good point to the story later. So I go straight down the ramp, and the referee's looking for me, and he's like, "Where the hell?"
Where's the kid?
So I get in the ring. He's like, "You know, you weren't supposed to walk down the ramp." I was like, "Oh yeah, man, I forgot. I'm sorry." You know, like I apologize to the ref in the ring. This is during a commercial break or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So it's time to do the promo with Byron Saxton in the ring. Do the promo, and like you know, as a performer, you know right away if the promo is good or not in your head. Like it was, and when I was done, I was like, man, I think I really nailed that.
Yeah,
Like,
you
it just
did.
felt good.
You did.
And then like when Braun came down, and I'm like, to me, I thought this was going to be my only match in WWE ever.
Right.
Like it's not like Dwayne's days where they had enhancement talent every week. Like, and they had, you know, the same enhancement talent every
Right.
week. They like, because the way they do it now is the different towns they go to, they use the guys in that town. So I do the match with Braun, and when I was over with, I was like, man, I think I really felt like I did good. And you don't think that all the time. And I was nervous. It's my first time in a WWE ring. And so I get to the back, and Arn Anderson was the producer. He goes, James, you did a hell of a job. He goes, Vince wants to see you. And I was like, Vince wants to see me?
Sweet.
And I'm thinking Vince is going to chew me out for walking down the ramp.
Right, logical.
And I'm like
Logical.
scared. I'm about to pee my pants, this and that. So I go
Ellsworth!
up. I go up to the Gorilla, and Vince and Triple H are coming down the stairs of Gorilla. He's like, James, come here. And he's looking for me. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to chew me out.
Now,
for
are you
walking.
shocked he even knows your name, right?
I guess he, you know, he just was watching the show. It was at his head right there, you know, and he goes, James, come here. And I'm like, man, he's gonna yell at me about the ramp. I'm like, in my head,
your
I'm coming up
apology.
with my apology. Yeah, I'm like, and you know, I just got excited. I'm sorry, you know. And he's like, you did a hell of a job. You cut a hell of a promo. You sold really good. He goes, I'm going to hire you.
Wow.
And I thought he was just kidding. I laughed. I said, oh, thanks, sir. He goes, no, I'll be in touch. And Triple H shook my hand. He said, yeah, he'll be in touch. We promise.
So
Chris Jericho wants to talk to you. And I'm like, what? And Chris Jericho gets on the phone. He said, dude, you really did an amazing job. he said that's the best enhancement talent job I've seen in a long time. He did it.
Wow.
And then like Enzo Amore gets on the phone and he said, "You're going to be a star. I was in Gorilla and watch Vince react to you. He's like, you're going to be a star." And I'm like, who's ribbing me? This is a great rib. Well,
Right.
Can you talk about the whole sexual harassment
Oh, yeah.
problem that you had with that 16-year-old?
Well, here's the thing. So, I've never been investigated for anything in my life. I've never been arrested for anything in my life. I've never been charged with anything in my life. I also have never put anybody in a position they didn't want to be in. I feel bad for anyone that's ever been put in a position that they don't want to be in. But that wasn't a true story. That was a fabricated story, and it was very untrue. And again, it's been a couple of years now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I feel bad for anybody that goes through that. And there's a lot going on the internet right now and all that. And the stories that are true, I feel bad for those people, and I hope they get the justice they deserve. But at the same time, there's people that tell untrue stories. So, and I feel bad for the people that have been through that as well.
Describe your emotions when you're accused of this, knowing damn well this is a bunch of BS.
It's hard, man, because you can't defend yourself on the internet when you're a celebrity, because people,
They want to believe it.
they
instantly.
want the dirty truth and not the clean story.
So
Right.
you mentioned Carmella. Can you speak about your relationship with her? How was it working with her?
I always tell everybody she's a very intelligent woman. What I mean by that is she knows if she feels like she's getting stale or something's not working, she hurries up and reinvents herself and fixes it. Like there was a point where she had blonde hair and she dyed it, brunette for a little bit just to change herself up.
Right.
She always wears different gear for the pay-per-views. She actually pitched the idea for me to be with her, to Vince herself. That was her idea, because she wasn't doing anything at the time. She was feuding with Nikki Bella and just doing jobs to Nikki Bella, and that was about to be over. And the stuff with AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, and myself was about to be over. And she was like, pitched the idea to Vince. Well, what if you put him with me and I use him to win matches? I manipulate him and to help me get to the women's title. And it was an outstanding idea. Again, she's an intelligent woman. And it worked out for her. It got her to where she wanted to be. It made her a bigger star. I helped her become a bigger star.
When Ellsworth won the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match, you got some major heat.
Oh, yeah.
You're awful, you lousy man! I hate you, man!
What we were going for.
Yeah.
And to your point there,
Loved it.
I take away that moment from them because I'll do anything for Carmella's the gimmick. Give her the briefcase. So people are
It was such a great moment.
and then on Twitter, like all the girls in WWE were tweeting about it, and I would retweet it, and like I told Bailey to go hug herself and all this cool stuff.
Go hug yourself.
Yeah, and
It's the late 90s. Goldberg is basically the biggest thing going besides Stone Cold Steve Austin's. The ratings are through the roof. And I turn on the TV one day, and all of a sudden I see Gillberg. This has to be one of the most successful takeoffs on a wrestler I have ever seen. This was hilarious. Were you nervous when they came to you and said, you're going to be imitating that big dude over in WCW? Did you think to yourself, this guy going to be pissed at me? Were you
I made it up.
You made it up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I
Tell us.
I was doing it on the independents.
Nice.
And I had, got my contract and everything as Dwayne Gill, won the title, and I was on the job squad.
Okay.
And we were doing a house show, and I was talking to Percy and Kane in the back. And, telling them, I was making fun of the boys on the independents, man. I said I did the Underfaker. I said I did Stone Old. I took swim foams, those tubes,
Yeah.
and made braces out of them. It all came out with a walker and everything, I did Stone Old. I was Stone Old Steve Boston.
nice.
This is great. Oh
And then
my
I
God.
said, and then I did Gillberg. And,
Okay.
and they're all like, ah. And then Percy goes, Gillberg.
Wait a minute.
Oh, Dwayne Gill, you may have something there, young man. And I laughed, and then every time I walked by him during the hall that night, it was Gillberg,
Oh, it's
Gillberg.
great.
Kane kept doing it, and Percy kept doing it. So the next day, I went to catering, and we're getting ready to do TVs, and I got my plate and all, and Percy, I got the boys. The boys are going Gillberg, Gill. So I put the plate down, and went ah!
There it is.
Everybody laughed and cracked up, and I thought that was it. So we did the tapings, then I went home, and like Wednesday I get a call, and they're like, so I understand you do this Goldberg impersonation. I said, yeah, it's called Gillberg. It's kind of funny. And I said, good, bring everything you got. You're doing it.
Wow.
And I went, huh? And he went, yeah. I said, I don't want to lose my title, man. I said, I just won. You know, I don't want to lose my title. And they go, that's the beauty of it. You're going to wrestle heavyweights. You're a light heavyweight.
Right.
And so the count goes -1, -2. I said, okay, you got it. I'll bring everything with me. So I came up there, and come the night of doing it, I'm okay. You know, everything's fine. And Vince comes up and he goes, so, Dwayne, tonight's the night, huh? And I go, yes, sir. And he goes, you know, everybody's going to be watching you. I'm counting on you. And I go, yes, sir. And he walks away, and it was like, I mean, everything just, I was done. And actually, I was worried. And Triple H came up to me about half hour for the show. And he goes, Dwayne, what's wrong, man? And I go, oh, man, Hunter, man, you know, Vince did this, Vince did. He goes, Dwayne. You're doing a parody. He said, remember when I did the croc and all that stuff? We were doing all. He said,
croc.
Man, you could go out there. It don't matter. He said, if you're walking down the ramp and you trip and fall, he said, roll down to the bottom and jump up and go, ah. He said, you'll be fine, man.
He's right.
He said, you're just making fun of him. No matter what you do, you can't do nothing wrong. And I went,
That's right.
oh, man. Yeah, you're right. And that took all the weight off me. And if you notice on the first one, I didn't realize it, but I had Chuck Norris gloves, and they got a steel bar across here. And I come out and I went, ah, wham! And you see me go like this.
Right,
like, whoa, I ain't doing that no more. I walked out to the King of the Ring, walked in and went, got pushed out and made $25,000.
Jesus Christ. That's
41
it
seconds.
For one bat.
41 seconds, brother. 41 seconds.
I don't like to say.
Man, we should have been wrestlers.
I don't like
Throw
to
me out
say.
after 1 second.
What do you got?
I don't like to say exact numbers, but WrestleMania. I was on WrestleMania,
Yeah.
very blessed and fortunate, and it was around what he's saying for WrestleMania. And all I did was I'd walk Carmella to the ring. I took one bump from Becky Lynch, which I mean, you're taking a bump at WrestleMania. It does not get any bigger than that.
You do it for free.
Yeah,
You ain't gonna
right,
feel it
but
anyway because you're so hyped.
75,000 people in Orlando.
Right.
But yeah, it was around. It's they like again. They pay you very well. So that's why I laugh at these guys that say they don't.
That's what I'm trying to say. These guys, they go to war, these wrestling experts, about like
God,
how
do they ever? Ugh.
wrestlers are being robbed by the evil Vince McMahon.
But they've
It's
never
like-
wrestled. They've never had the contract.
Can you compare the wrestling back in the Attitude Era to the wrestling you've seen in recent days, even leading up to your retirement?
No,
How much
you
has
can't
wrestling
compare
changed?
it. You can't compare it.
Okay, tell me
It's
why. What are the
nothing.
differences?
It's nothing like it was in the Attitude Era.
Give me some examples.
To me, all I see is it's basically there's no camaraderie like what used to be. Everybody's trying to cut everybody's throat. Back in the day, it was a brotherhood, man. I mean, you didn't say stuff. You didn't do nothing. What was in that locker room was in that locker room, bro. That's it.
Internet ruined everything.
It ruined everything
Ruined
as far
everything.
as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Any shot of returning to WWE soon, maybe?
Well, you never say never. I would like to. I think there's a lot more you can do with the character. Like, I don't think the character is
With his dad.
yeah. I don't think a character is
With his dad.
an every week character. But I think the character is something you can like when they released me the first time, they brought me back 7 months later, and I did the stuff with Carmella and Asuka, and it got over again. So I think that is a character that like you can take a break from. And then when it comes, like, it's more powerful when it comes back. It gets that reaction other than being there every week and you're just another guy lost in the shuffle. I think it's a unique character where every now and then can pop up.
If Carmella came out and started cutting a promo and then he come bouncing out with his hat and everything, the place would fall apart.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You know it as well as I do. They would erupt, man. It
Well, I'm
would
a little
be
more humble than that. I
unbelievable.
don't know what would happen. But
You know, the internet could say what they want the day after, but when he rushed up that ladder, that place went.
I'm
they were
telling you,
going-
man,
They were
I'm
going
telling you.
berserk.
so
He had more heat, man.
well, no, when I'm climbing the ladder,
Right.
they're going nuts. I think they wanted me to grab it and take off with it myself.
Oh, I would have.
So I think the heat was giving it to her, which was good.
Have you
That's-
thought about ever possibly being a manager on screen?
That's absolutely 100%. I think that's something
see
else.
that.
I would love to be a modern day Bobby Heenan or Jim Cornette or
Harvey Winslow.
like just get heat, like get heat.
I don't
Come on,
know.
bro.
Why did they get rid of the manager role?
Yeah, why?
Why do you feel
And why
that
can't we have
wrestling
another Gene
veered from
Okerlund?
that?
You know why?
They don't want to pay
More
another guy
money.
to
That
be a
why
ringside.
when I can pay you $150,000 a year to go out there. Why do I have to pay this guy $150,000
But do you
too?
think it really helps
Yes.
wrestlers get over to have a faceless Barbie doll interviewing them
Now-
instead of a Gene Okerlund?
Oh, no.
Would you
I
guys-
think the Gene Oakland's better.
Like, you guys as fans was like Carmelo, and Carmelo's awesome, and I love everything she does, but
Yeah.
when her and I are together, wasn't that very interesting?
Yeah, it was good.
Absolutely.
No, you
And,
guys
like,
work together.
And,
it works well.
and I think, like, us separate isn't not as cool as us together.
I
Like,
agree.
I thought, like, you know, as much as I love to have on my resume that I beat AJ Styles 3 times, like, I thought they kept going to that too. Like, I was like, why does this keep at? Like, the first time was funny,
'Cause it was
ha-ha,
good.
Ambrose was the rep, but it popped a good rating, and that's the cool thing. Each
Dude.
time AJ and I did anything,
Dude, you made AJ Styles fans pull their hair out each
it-
time you won.
All right, well, we want to thank you guys for joining.
Right.
What a
Hey,
great
guys,
interview.
thanks for having
Really
us. Thank
appreciate it.
you.